Alright boys and girls, and welcome back to another building video. Around about 2 years ago, I cooked up a little base called the Fedra, a 3-sided egg on a singular TC that specialized in a nice roof shooting floor combo and a cozy easy core to throw down. As you know, I regularly name bases off TV shows, and it just so happens that one was named after The Last of Us. It recently rolled around again, and it's off to a very nice start. If you've not seen that show, you need to hop on it quick. Trust me guys, let me put you on. But anyway, it's inspired me to take a look at that base and give it a little revamp. This has very much been brought into 2025 and it's a much cooler build now, so hopefully you will all enjoy. Balancing the base builds and the PvP vids in such a short time space can be tricky, and every like and comment just keeps me on track and I appreciate it a lot. And for once I'm going to put this at the start of the video before the tour, since it's a bit of a big announcement. We've gone ahead and dropped a Patreon, and for only $5 you guys can gain access to exclusive builds that are going to be covering a variety of group sizes so that I can appeal to as many of you guys as possible. These bases will be semi-private and they'll never see the eyes of YouTube, including a good few meta base designs and my very own brand new meta chase box. My absolute favorite base to get online rated in. If you've seen the PvP vids, you know this build slaps. Feel free to join the Discord for more info. We've got multiple great builders in there ready to help you out, along with a stacked settings channel, along with the spot where you guys can purchase your very own custom base design. This would be completely private to you. You can select the features, the cost, everything. And of course, these builds are a little bit more premium priced, but with glowing reviews, I can tell you that it is very worth it indeed. Give yourselves and your team a nice little gift in the Spinky cord down below. I know we love a good sponsor, but it's gotta be better than listening to a Gamba or Raid Shadow Legends one. Now let's jump on in with the tour. Alright, let's jump in with the tour of today's base. Now we can see there's no external TCs, which is nice for some players. Always do recommend throwing down externals, but I understand the people who maybe can't be bothered to do so, or they're not so fussed about reclaiming the base after a raid. Whenever that raid comes, they're happy to log off. But ideally, externals are good, but this one doesn't need them. We can add them though, nice and easily. Of course, join the Discord for that and I can walk you through it. So for starters, we got 3 entrances into the base. Nice, easy barricade seal as well. Cheap on the compound. Good gatehouse here. Of course, add a skin with a window on it for prime visibility. Opening up the doors gives us a little play space here, and it's overall a nice, wide, good looking airlock. Then we come into the gatehouse. We got great angles here down through into compound. Watching that breach. These are wooden high walls, so we do expect those to get broken in a raid. And this is going to be an amazing angle to play off of. So these beds are perfect. Head is covered. And we're going to have a nice angle out through compound. Just taking out the high walls there so you can get an idea of the angles we're going to have here. Really nice. While you're holding, there's also going to be a turret holding you above too. And of course, bit of chain link on there as they breach through. This is not going to be a fun turret to play around with. And even if they're over to this side, the turret is just going to full spin bot them. So that's chill. That's our wooden high wall set up here. And then we have our funnel door. So if they're going to breach through here, this is ideally where we want to see some players coming in. And we're going to have great angles, great turret angles, and a lot of defendability here too. Running around inside the compound, it's actually a pretty interesting one. So we can funnel the door here that actually blocks off the bedroom too. And of course, closing off from the exterior compound area as well. Running around, we have a nice reverse waterfall that's going to take us all the way up to our roof with some retake potential as well. Jumping into the bedroom here, you can throw a bed down the middle. I'm just too much of a pro to place it. We get the angles outside of compound. You can see with those high walls missing, that's what it looks like. And if you open up the funnel door as well, there's going to be a shotgun trap in there and an angle down below too. Head is covered once again. Now, if you've not seen this already, it's called the Triplet Bunker. I robbed this one off of Basso, a well-known League of Legends player. And we do need to pick up a few deployables just to get this down, but it keeps the illusion up. Just throwing a roof down there is going to open up our bunker. It does require some high foundations, so it is soft-sidable, but it's still a sneaky bunker where we can hide some loot. And I've got a battery in here with some depot storage as well. Just breaking the roof. You can add the triangle back and throw your embrasure back on. It's really not too much effort. And this is a perfect spot to hide loot, and it's still decently expensive. And there's no workbenches nearby if we do have some wannabe soft-siders, but ideally we get these foundations metaled up. As for the reverse waterfall, you can see the turrets watching all the way up too, which is super handy. We can head up this ladder hatch and all the way through, giving us a little retake onto roof as well. And it's decently unexpected as well. They'll have the sound cue of the ladder hatch. But overall, it's not a bad angle here that we can toggle pretty easily. And then it also allows us to jump up, out onto roof 2. And of course, the turrets are watching as well, even though they're the wrong way round. As we come down, you can probably see this area looks a little bit weird. This is our connection. So this connects the funneled section back to main base. If you were to remove this, then you would need an external TC for this entire area. So it's super simple to add externals, as I said before. Dropping that down, the rest of the compound is the same. The turret coverage is great. Really like these turrets up here. They're covering super well and they're hard to break. We have one entrance into the base. This net is a non-BP, so it's not too hard to get up here. It's 15k hour player, by the way. Then we can come in through the airlock, and we do have a nice angle on here with some beds it's going to watch through. Nobody's door banging this base. Even if you've got a bow, you're going to be good for a couple players through this angle. Respawn box there with a kit. Try not to use lockers, as again it gives the sound cue and lets people know where you are in the base and where you're playing off of. Overall, the second floor is nice and open. It gives access to the third floor, and it gives us a drop down to first floor. Of course, this is set up with a stair bunker. Console players unfortunately do not have access to this bunker, but it's not necessary. It doesn't mean to write off the whole build just because we can't have the core bunker. It's still a perfectly good base with or without. Dropping down inside the core, this is how the stair bunker works. It's sitting on a piece of twig. We go ahead and break that. That'll open up our bunker. Simple as, need a deployable jump. That's the only rule. Don't get that wrong and you'll be fine. TC, lots of boxes in the middle here and double loot room on this side as well. Overall, a nice and open starter, and it's going to be a pretty small group base too. So this is going to feel actually quite massive for those of you who are in smaller teams building this build. Up on second floor now, we jump all the way to third. Third floor is pretty similar to some more box space. You can throw down some beds too. It's completely up to you how you set up the interior. I'm never too strict on that. Heading up now, we have a little door section here. A couple of boxes above, a wrap up into our roof, some bed areas too, and a walkout into shooting floor. Shooting floor is mainly made up of the offset peaks here. So these are nice and stable, and they do give a quite tight angle down the middle, giving us a good bit of coverage throughout the base, watching those weak points again where we expect to see some online raiders breaching through these high walls. We also have some faraway angles here, good crouch spam as well, giving us a great angle down and around the base and for those further out distances. And of course our head is covered, so this is a more than 50-50 angle. Ideally, you're going to be able to swing multiple people from here and come out almost untouched. And the rest of the shooting floor is just the same. It wraps around with a couple more downward angles here too. These are great for nade spam, so if we have anyone in the funnel around here, you can kind of sit back out of range and just throw nades down here. And again, a raid base is not going to see you either while you're toggling this angle. They kind of watch the funnel at opposite ends like this, so if anyone's running through, you're going to have great retake potential from here. Overall, nice cute little shooting floor. You can separate it up with some garage doors, and that's how I thought things set up. On the brutalist angle as well, there is a retake for roof 2, and the turrets are watching to make sure this can't be used against you in the scenario where they may have shooting floor but not roof. Our roof exit is just the one, and it goes back from inside the core. Jumping up, we get the beds here, throw down a couple of lockers or boxes, and then we can exit out onto our roof from this little airlock. Good coverage up here before we exit, and a lot of retakes too, plus there's compound mobility straight from the bedroom down there. Up on here we got some hard to HV turrets, so these are pretty much tucked away. These are more exposed. Ideally we're going to see people HV these, come and land on roof assuming things are safe, and you're going to have these turrets underneath which are just impossible to take down from higher up. Up on roof we get some more downward angles here. These are covered on the outside so that they can't be used against you. It's a much safer angle than it looks to be, and it's just going to give us great retake potential for anyone down below. You can also use these angles here if you're a stand spraying machine, and that works too as well. Turrets tucked away nice and safe, and a couple of more angles just watching on the further out. Slightly more open here, but you could kind of jiggle the open part and then move down through. This is where it all lines up as well, taking us straight to our waterfall back up onto roof. Open enough for a scrap hill in the middle here in case wipe becomes a little bit cinematic, and overall just a nice, cute, easy, simple base. One external required, or you could turn it into 3 externals. It's completely up to you. Hopefully you boys and girls are impressed with this base, and if you are, I'll go ahead and break down the build cost for you now. First of all, on screen is the total build cost. Second up is that build cost in box amounts, and lastly is the total upkeep that's for now just on the 1 TC inside our core, and that includes all the deployables that you saw in the tour. Hopefully you boys and girls are ready for me to show you how to build this one. Alright, let's get in with the tutorial and teach you guys how to build this one. I'm going to try just doing a bit of a live commentary. I feel like that might be the best way to make the tutorials as easy to follow as possible. So I'm just starting off with an egg footprint here. And that's all you'll need for your starter base. It's a first floor kind of thing, so we're entering from the second floor, so we wrap in the entire first floor. Just like that. If you are not on console, then you're going to be doing the stair bunker. And that requires a double half wall. And this is the bare minimum that you would need to claim the build spot. You can forget the whole egg, you can just set up like this. And that's the minimum mats you need to spend to throw down your TC. Get a wooden door on that, and you have claimed your build spot. However, if you're rich and you're ready to throw down the whole starter, we can do that. So we're going to get a loot room over here. And another one over here. And then just doors in between. And that seals in the whole first floor. Over here, you need a deployable jump up, remember, if you're using the stair bunker. So a furnace works fine. Hobo barrel, anything like that is going to do fine. And already at this stage in the game, you can go ahead and seal up your stair bunker. Just like that. Jumping up, though, this is going to be our way out. Just the single door. Makes the stair bunker a little more effective here. Then after we do that, we can wrap in the second floor. All the way up until this square. Remember, you're going to have a bedroom here with a window. The Patrico is going to go here, so our airlock starts from there. That's our Patrico there. Beds go in. If you're having trouble placing the stair bunker, sometimes this bed can block it, so you might need to pick that one up when you go offline, but it shouldn't be a big deal. Again, a box can go above here. And that's where I'm putting the jump up over on this end. Like that. The rest of it gets doors and floors. For now, obviously, you're going to need some sort of just kind of twig build up out here. And that'll be fine. To get in and out of your base. Temporary until we get to the rest of the build. Then I'm going to take it to third floor just to give you some roof camp potential as well. So we bring it out with the doors here. This is a loot room. We're going to have a staircase here to go up to the next floor. And then we get another loot room over here. Just like that. You can also wrap this in the back here, just to seal things off. And if you want, you can have a half shelf on here too with some boxes. But that'll at least give you some roof camp potential up here now, just like that. We'll fill that in just because it looks ugly. And there we go. We brought our egg core up to the third story. Now we can come down and start doing some compound work and trying to rush those high walls. I'm going to take that out the way for just now. Hopefully you've got a ladder or something else to get it going. And we'll start working on the footprint. Off of the square side of the base, you can see this is a square and these are triangles on the left and right. There'll be 3 of those. You can come away to create the gatehouse like this. And then you take out the center square. And that's how we're going to set up our offset angle. This needs to reconnect back to main base. And a common mistake that you guys are often making is you would look at a footprint like this and assume that this is a connection. A good way to test if builds are actually connected is if I were to upgrade this to high qual, then you would now expect our TC to be needing to upkeep high qual. You'll see that it doesn't require any high qual at the top there, so that's how we know that it's not actually connected. And this common mistake is that foundations like this are not actually touching, and they do in fact need a full proper connection for them to count. And now if we check the TC, it'll require high qual. Common mistake that I see a lot of newer builders doing, so try and keep that one in mind. If your base is ever decaying, it's usually an issue like that, unless we're talking about freehands. But anyway, we can build the gatehouse now, and it's kind of coming out like this. We go further out with the big airlock here, half-walling down the center here, and then low-walling through the back to give us a big Patrico angle here. And then we window that off. So this is where the beds can go in here, double door airlock there. Lots of play space. 2 bits of chain link in this gatehouse. Very nice. Half-wall the back for our turret and some ceilings on top. And that's the gatehouse. You're going to want to cover the Patrico at the top here to keep your head safe. The best thing you can use is a triangle planter. Understand that's a BP, so it's a bit annoying. You might be better off just finding a box or something like that too. Is going to work as well. You pretty much just set it up like that, and the chain link goes around the back, and then you can get a turret on there at the top. I won't show this every time. Obviously, we're going to have to do this 2 more times, and I'll do each one a little bit faster, but you get the idea like this now. Everything will be connected up, and nothing is decaying, and this is what we're looking for on 2 more sides. I'm I'm going to do things a little bit more rapid so that we're not here all day. You guys get the idea. We're coming back to another square now. You can check above if you guys are confused. We're going to build that gatehouse a little bit faster now, just so we're not making a Rust movie and we're making a build tutorial. And there we are. Things a little bit faster now. Ideally, it's nice to get up to that speed. Good for building on actual vanilla wipes. The building plan is something that you should hopefully be able just to memorize with your eyes closed, where all these pieces are. And then we do it one more time. And there we go. That's 3 gatehouses done now. We're going to need to do a build out now because we do have a funneled section going on here. So just keep that in mind. And now we'll go ahead and do a little build out here for our funneled section. So we're going to bring this out so that we can get to the center. Then we can begin our build out with 4 squares. Cap it off. Break everything. And if there's not space to do this, you can do build outs mathematically. So split 4 squares into 2 and 2. 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. It's completely up to you, depending on how much space you have to play around with. And from here, we're going to turn it into a triangle section, just like that. You can see that perfectly makes the funneled section. If you're building in Twig, you might panic, and that's a common mistake too. You might be looking at this and thinking that you can't run around because of the Twig. Fully just a Twig issue. I've seen people panic there too, upgrading it, and that you can see there, everything's perfectly fine. So this is the full shape that we're going for here. Now, we're not keeping it like this. There's going to be a few raised foundations in this area. Actually, I'll go ahead and make it all Twig now, just so there's no confusion. Okay, so this is the footprint that we're looking for around here. The triplet bunker can be kind of confusing, so just get ready to listen along. We're going to be having our bunker over here, which means we need to add in walls at the back and a floating half wall at the front here. The one on the left is going to be raised along with the one on the right. However, there's some tech before we do that. We're going to add in a couple of half walls over here, just like that. And we're going to add a floor on those. And we're going to float a frame off of there, where we can place a raised foundation inside of. That's how the bunker kind of works. I know it's pretty odd to look at. We're also going to need to make this raised, as to provide no stability from the outside. And if you do not have the terrain to work with any raised foundations and such, you need to be in a pretty flat spot for this triplet bunker to be working. If the terrain does not allow it, you'll just need to leave it out. There's no way to make it work. You do need the raised foundations in order to provide no stability to these frames and floors. Once you've done that, though, we can upgrade what we have here. Especially this frame, I would make that metal now. It's going to be hard to access later on. We'll go ahead and place it in our next raised foundation like that. And you can upgrade it, and you can see that that frame kind of disappears. We want them to be the same grade, both metal, so it's kind of hard to tell what we have going on here. And then we can throw our floor down. Double check that the bunker mechanism works. It does indeed. Very nice. And now from there, we can go about completing the rest of this bedroom. So we're entering up from a single door here. We've got a window on this side and a window on this side. And we just wrap the bedroom in the back here. Just like that. Raise this up ever so slightly. So we'll have barricades sitting on these two on the outside. On the back here, we give that a low wall so that we can get an angle outside of compound, remember? And that's also our spot for our funnel door. So we're low walling this. Frame in a floor. And you can just add a wall here. Add an extra frame on that. Make sure you leave this socket open. That's where our roof is going to go. Keep double checking your bunker is working before you upgrade anything. And once you've done that, you're good to go. Throw your embrasures on. Remember, this will not place when the embrasure is there, unfortunately. So you'll need to pick that up in order to open up your bunker. But from there, you can throw a battery in here, some barrels on the floor, and just seal it up. Ideally, get everything around this area metalled up. And then you can throw these doors on to seal up the compound on the outside. And those are our angles to play off of. Add a little box in here for standing on so we can look a little further down and a little deeper in. And that's us done. Now, this whole section here is going to be decaying. If you would like to have externals on your base, then feel free to just go ahead and add one coming off the side here. However, if you'd like to have this connected to main as shown in the tour, I can do that for you now. So for the connection, we're going to add in a frame here with a half wall above, 2 more frames. Then up at the top on this level, we're going to need to raise our honeycomb walls up just a little bit to this height here. We can then add a frame passing through the floor like so. And lastly, these 2 roofs are going to create our connection just like that. And again, I've already explained it at the start of this video, but if we want to confirm that it has connected, you guys should definitely do that. We'll add a bit of high qual over to the section that we want to confirm if it's connected or not. And we'll head inside to see if our high qual upkeep has changed. You can see now it's on 2. I already removed the prior bit of high qual, but just to confirm, we'll double check, see if that number has now changed from 2 to something a little higher. And there we are on 4 now. So we have confirmed that that is a connection at the top there, and it's not going to decay. Now we need to go ahead and build this triplet bunker on the opposite side 2 more times. If you just like the bedroom, you can just go for that and leave out the bunker mechanism. It might even be smarter to only have 1 instead of 3, so it gives raiders less of a chance to actually find where they're going. But if not, we'll go ahead and do it a few more times. So we do a short kind of build out to bring us to the center. Then we do our actual build out of 4 squares. And we build back. We still need to undo our middle build out here like we did to bring us back to triangles. Keeping in mind that these do not need to be upgraded yet. A few of them are going to change their grade. The one on the left is higher, the one on the right lower. This is our bunker spot in here. Again, just doing this a little bit faster. This one's raised. These 2 are half. Get a frame in here. Make it metal. Foundation in. Frame to divide. In we go with the windows. That's just combing on the back. Ceiling on it all. And the funneled section. And make sure our bunker works. Beautiful. And that's us done. You can see once you know what you're doing, you can do it a lot faster. I'm sure that segment went way quicker. One thing I did forget, good idea to just cover your head in this angle too. Just with some low walls, it's going to work perfectly fine. And that makes that nice and safe in there. Nobody can bother us. Then the last thing to do is, of course, connect it to main. So adding a half wall there. A couple of floors up on the honeycomb. Let's get them the right way around though. And that's us done. Beautiful. One more to do, and we'll do it decently fast again. The slowest version was on the first one if you needed that. Just trying to find the balance between everyone. Obviously, there's different skill levels of builders watching these videos, so I try my best to keep everyone happy. Harder than you might think. So this is our raised one. This is our bunker. Our bunker needs foundations next to it, or else it's never going to work. We need to float the frame from here. We're going to make it metal. Raise foundations next to the bunker. That's the only way it works. Half floors here for barricades to sit on outside compound. Ceiling on top. Windows on the left and right. Wall in the front. Couple of doors to come through. Test the bunker, make sure it works. It does. And then out for the funnel. Cover the head. Just like that. And then we'll connect this one to main as well. once you've done that, you can see we're ready for some high walls now to make everything safe. For the high walls, I am just going to throw on symmetry because they're super repetitive, and you guys get the idea. You can demolish high walls now as well, so there is absolutely no excuses. I would probably come from the inside here, look towards the bedroom, and I'd be looking to make a 2 high wall seal between here and the gatehouse. So that looks about good to me when I'm alt looking. And there we go. Obviously, practice makes perfect with these things, and terrain on live servers can make things harder too. But that's what we're looking for, nice and clean. And then we'll get some barricades on here too. And this new barricade placement is super nice. It's very anti-grub. There's not really much you can do to get inside this compound once these goes down. You'll need a couple of floors here just to balance these on. And then you can see that there's not much for the grubs to do in getting this compound. But that's our compound sealed up. We're much safer now while building. As for our jump up now, I usually had it over here, but I think we're going to make it on this side instead. We'll give us a floor here on the inside of the honeycombing, and then you can just simply jump from this foundation to frame in like that. And I feel like that's a much better door path than what we had already, so just go for that instead. And then you can bring this combing up all the way to the end of the base on every single side. It's going to take a little bit longer if you can't fly, of course. And there we go. The level that we're currently on is going to be our shooting floor, so I'll make a little way out on that now. Over here is going to be our staircase up to the roof. Then we head out from here like this. And I'll just add the roof section on now. You get a bedroom over here. And you get your way out over here. There we go. Now we can work on the shooting floor. So you see it kind of wraps through like this. We get a door to divide on these 2 triangle sections like that. And we have single doors going through here to give us our little angle. Alright, so let's go ahead and raise some frames up to the height that we need to play off of here. So we're going to take these ones all the way up. We're also going to wrap in the square too from down below. Not going to be as fun on vanilla. And dividing down these 2 triangles, going to raise that up too. And that is going to be for some Patrico angles. Like that. So we're just raising all of those up. Rather a few frames to do. It'll certainly take a lot longer without flying. But I'm not going to subject myself to that pain. Raising up this particular one here higher than the rest, you can see. And we're doing it on all of the sides. There we go. Alright, so we'll add in some floors for the shooting floor now. It's pretty simple stuff. We're adding in the triangles like that to divide, giving us an angle here. Floor down the middle too. Wrapping that with a breach peak so we get some far out angles. We do want a DLC roof here if we can get that. Would be very nice. Now some of you might be saying, hold on, I don't have any of the DLCs, or hold on, I'm on console, what can I do? Well, I'll just show you with a default roof here. If you do happen to be on console or you don't have the DLCs, you can hop down here and add in a couple of extra roofs. And for whatever reason, that opens up the conditional at the bottom of the roof. So we can still use the base like that. That's just an extra step you have to do if you don't own any DLCs or if you're on console. But yeah. Then from there we can add in some frames for the Patricos. Half wall on top of them. And we do turn this into a retake on roof, so try not to rush ahead. Half wall, window there. Half wall window there. And then I'll give us some stability. Bring in the floors. And low wall there. You won't get any frames here now. You can see that it's changed from being a triangle to a square above. That is why it is an offset peak. We'll go ahead round now. I'm just going to build it as normal, assuming that you have the DLCs, but you saw the method. If you are DLC-less or on console, then just go back to what we did over there. But on this side, I'm going to keep it nice and clean. And we'll do it on one more side. And then you can just throw the... Make sure to seal this part up too. Keeping our head covered. And then on the opposite angle, it's keeping our toes covered. And then we can just seal everything else in. Pretty sure I forgot to do this on one side. Over here, yeah. There we go. We're set up for our roof now. So let's go ahead and make the reverse waterfall. So we're going to come in with a ladder hatch on this side. A floor over here. Let's give it more stability just up from the gate. Over here, we add in a half wall, low wall. Gonna wrap all of this in walls. And we get a ladder hatch in there. Triangle one, of course. And you can add your netting as well if you want, just to see how this all works. Net is not a BP, and it just costs 1 rope to make. You got 3 on 3 sides, so try and save yourself 9 rope for the base. You can still fit through here just fine. Then we ramp up to here to give us a little angle. We floor and we frame. Wrap that in windows. And we door out. You want this door to swing out like this. Gonna close up a little gap. We low wall on here. And we give it 2 extra floors. And that's how you create your reverse waterfall. Little spot for a turret at the top of it. And we do that on the opposite sides as well. Ladder hatch here. Some more stability from the bedroom. Half wall, low wall. Ladder hatch in. Don't forget your net at the bottom. And wrap this in windows. Double door to go out. And a couple of roofs on the back here for a turret. And we do that just one more time. Stability, ladder hatch, wrap it in walls. That's a half wall, low wall. Slow it down. There we go. Windows up the top. Swinging out the double door. Just like that. Once you've done that, we've almost finished things up. We have a spot for a turret here on the back. You can see that super tucked away back here, so nobody can rocket it. Then your windmill is going to go up top. And we're going to wrap the windmill in low walls for style points. If you ever see anyone doing that, it's for absolutely no reason other than it looks kind of good. And then we're throwing our windmills in here just like that. And it looks like I forgot to add in these low walls and the floors just like this. Hit it on one side. And then once you've done that, you can add these in. These need to go before. Just keep that in mind. The last thing you place should be these ramps. And there we go. Then once you've done that, that completes the base design. Hopefully boys and girls have enjoyed this video. If you did, then please feel free to leave me a like and drop me a comment down below. This is a new style of tutorials. Sometimes I do get the odd complaint here and there about speed, pace, and a little confusion. So let me know if this has cleared things up and made things a little easier. Remember to check out the Patreon, guys. It's going to help me out a ton. Or if you want to go a little bit more premium, cop a custom in the Discord down below. And I'll see you boys and girls in the next video. See you in a bit.